Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the 2024 Ibanez RG421S in this rather beautiful shade of seashore matte. Now, the Ibanez RG is prized among players of heavy music, and shredders and lead guitarists love it for its thin necks, its 24 frets, its great double cutaway upper fret access. RGs often have hot humbucking pickups in them as well, so they're great for down-tuned metal madness. But they're also found on stages playing all sorts of different music because they're extremely versatile too. And the RG421S should be one of those guitars. Now, this is one of the most affordable guitars in the RG stable. This will set you back about $380, 430 euros, or about 350 Great British pounds as of time of filming in January 2024. But what do you get for your money? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you about in detail in this video. First, I'll tell you about the specs and the features of this specific guitar. Then I'm going to play it for you in as many different musical styles as I possibly can. And at the end, I'll give you a few more detailed opinions about this instrument and what I think of it, having played it pretty intensively over the past few weeks. So stick around for that. But first then, those specifications and features. And the first thing you're going to notice is this beautiful seashore matte finish. I personally love a matte finish on a guitar. I find them very comfortable. I find them pretty cool to look at as well. And this one is a beautiful, quite traditional and quite subtle shade considering some of the RGs that you do see. Now, the body of this guitar is meranti, and if I twist us around to the back here, you can see the natural meranti wood there alongside that big standard RG tummy cut there. And you can also see here at the back that we've got a bolt-on neck and this great RG upper fret access thanks to those deep upper and lower horns. And on the front of the body, it's actually a slimmed down, quite pared back affair. We don't even have a scratch plate or anything like that. That's not necessary, and it lets us see more of this beautiful matte finish. So we have two humbucking pickups on this guitar, and they're Ibanez's own quantum humbuckers, which Ibanez say provide accelerated bass response for exceptionally fast tracking of high-speed staccato riffing with crushing mid-range and precise high-end articulation. So they're going to be great for your down-tuned rock and roll and metal sort of music, but this being Ibanez, we actually have a 5-way pickup selector switch that gives us a few different tonal options. Now, if you start with it up here in the top position, you're accessing the neck humbucker as you normally would. Move the selector switch down one and we're still on the neck humbucker, but now it's in parallel mode. And this is going to give us more of a single coil sort of a tone because the two coils are working in parallel. That should give us some almost Fendery single coil Quacky Stratty sort of tones. So listen out for those in the playing part. With the selector switch in the middle of the 5-way, we have access to both humbuckers as standard. If we go down to the second bottom position, we then access both pickups, but just the inner coils. So that's going to be like a coil split again, and again is going to give us those sort of in-between Fender Stratocaster sort of tones, at least in theory. And down at the bottom, it's full-fat, full-on bridge humbucker in all of its chunky glory. We have a hardtail Ibanez F106 bridge here. This is a great option with an affordable guitar like this, in my opinion. You don't have to worry about a whammy going out of tune or anything like that. It gives you better tuning stability, and the F106 also has 6 individual saddles, so you can tinker and tweak each string individually. We also have a master volume control and a master tone control that operate both of the pickups together. And moving up to the neck of the RG421S, we have a maple neck on this guitar, and the profile is Ibanez's famed Wizard 3. So it's pretty slim, but not the slimmest that they make. It's very, very comfortable in a nice satin finish. On the front, we have those fabled RG 24 frets. They're jumbo frets on what is a Jatoba fingerboard. The scale length is 25.5 inches. That's 648 millimeters. The nut width is 43 millimeters, and the fingerboard radius is 400 millimeters. That's 15 3/4 inches. So really flat, and that really should suit the shredders of you out there watching this video. Moving up to the headstock, painted black, looks pretty cool, and we've got 6 in line, no name or Ibanez tuners on the back here. So this is the 2024 Ibanez RG421S, and what we're going to do next is play it. Now, like I've said, this guitar has 2 humbucking pickups, 2 quantums. They're ceramic humbuckers and very hot, but with the switching options that we've got here, we should be able to cover a bunch of different genres very well indeed, and that's what I'm going to try and do next. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 head. We'll start on the amp's clean channel with just a smidgen of reverb, and we'll play some pop and some folk and some country and some blues and stuff like like that. Then we'll kick in my favorite overdrive pedal, that's the Greer Lightspeed, and we'll play some indie rock with that. Then we'll go to the amp's crunch channel and do some classic rock and some AC/DC sort of stuff, maybe some Hendrixy sort of stuff. Then we'll go to the lead channel and play some heavier rock, some hard rock, some punk rock, and maybe some progressive rock as well. And at the end, we'll tune the RG down to drop D, we'll go back to the clean channel of the amp, and I'll kick in my Rev G3 distortion pedal, and we'll see if the RG can do modern metal and chugging. And I have no hesitation in telling you already that it can do that in spades. But anyway, listen to the playing, and we'll speak again in a bit more detail afterwards. Okay then, so that was the 2024 Ibanez RG421S in C-sharp matte, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones. Leave me a comment down there letting me know what you think about this guitar. Did you like the way it sounded? Do you like the fact that it's a hardtail bridge? Do you like this Wizard 3 neck? I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions down there. Now, when Ibanez Germany decided to send me this guitar for a video, at first I was a little bit confused because I'm not an overly metal sort of a player, but I do play a bunch of different genres. And the folks at Ibanez explained to me that actually the RG is about way more than just shredding and lead. It can do pretty much any musical genre. And I think we were able to semi-conclusively prove that in the playing, but let me know your thoughts down below. But what I'm going to do next is give you my opinions on this instrument, because over the past few weeks I've played it quite a lot. It's a very addictive guitar, and it just looks and feels and performs so differently to all of the other guitars that I currently own, which are all much more traditional sorts of instruments. My main guitar is a Tele, for example. You couldn't get much different than with this guitar. So if you're looking to buy this instrument, the first thing you're going to notice is going to be those first impressions when you pick it up off the wall. And for me, the first impressions were great. This is a beautiful instrument. I love this C-sharp matte finish. I love matte finish guitars. It looks fantastic. I love the fact that you can see the wood on the back of the guitar as well. The maple neck looks good too. And on first feel, it's really nice, smooth satin feeling as well. The other thing that I noticed as soon as I picked up this guitar was that it has a fantastic weight to it. This specific one weighs 2.84 kilograms, which is about 6 pounds 4. And I think that is a fantastic weight for an instrument of this type. It feels fantastically comfortable to play sat down, and when I've played it using a strap and standing up, it works wonderfully too. And at that weight, it's going to be comfortable no matter how long your gig is, no matter how much headbanging you're going to be doing with it. Of course, weights vary on guitars, particularly with cheaper models, but check it out before you buy it and you might get a light one just like this. In terms of the build quality, this guitar is similar to all the other Ibanez's I've played over the past few years, and it really feels great, especially considering the price. Now, I should say again that this guitar was sent to me by Ibanez Germany, so of course it'll have had a setup before it made its way to me, but if you're buying this guitar new yourself, give it to a competent tech, get it set up, and they will make it play and perform as well as it can. But in terms of this specific guitar then, the C-sharp matte finish has been done really well. I can't find any blemishes or imperfections or anything like that. The Wizard 3 neck has also been done really well, and the frets are great on this guitar too. The action and intonation are great. The tuning stability with the Ibanez own brand tuners holds up well, and that means that the nut's being cut well too, and the Ibanez F106 hardtail bridge is doing its job also. The pickups and the electronics and this really cool jack insert here are all doing their job really well as well. So no problems there whatsoever in terms of the build quality. And when it comes to the playability of this guitar, well, I've never owned an RG before, and I haven't played them that long in shops or at shows or anything like that, but I really, really like this instrument. Like I said, it's so different to the other guitars I have with smaller radiuses, more curved fingerboards and stuff like that, but this guitar is just so easy to play. The Wizard 3 neck is not too small, so it feels nice and comfy in the hand. The frets, the jumbo frets on this guitar feel great too, all the way up the neck, even though I don't get up past the 15th or 17th fret very often at all, but really, really nice for me. And this upper fret access here, well, it's second to none. If you want to get all the way up to the 24th fret, you can with no problems whatsoever. And at this price, I really do think that a hardtail bridge is going to be your better option than a whammy or a vibrato bridge, because it gives you better tuning stability. And for a player like me who doesn't really use whammy or vibrato much, well, it's the natural option. So in terms of playability then, a real eye-opener and a real fantastic guitar in that regard. But the other crucial thing that we have to talk about is the sounds. Now, we've got these quantum ceramic humbuckers in this guitar and a 5-way switch, and between those two pickups and the 5-way switch, well, you can play any kind of music that you would ever choose. Of course, a lot of you who are in the market for an RG, well, you're going to be wanting to play metal and down-tuned stuff, and this guitar excels at those kinds of sounds. When we tune down to drop D and use the Rev G3 pedal, for example, well, the bridge humbucker on this guitar sounded massive. It's got loads of low end, but not too much, so it sounds boomy. It's always nice and tight, and we've got a lovely, crisp, aggressive high end as well. So it's really, really good for chuggy stuff, for metal, for the hardcore punk that I was doing as well, and you've got that clarity across all 6 strings. So it's a fantastic metal guitar, but it's got way more up its sleeve than that. When we did the clean stuff at the start, well, the two humbuckers together, what a lovely, smooth, silky, velvety sort of sound, just for noodling away and doing arpeggios and stuff like that. These are hot pickups, so they do want to go a bit and they do want to break up the amp a little bit, but with the in-between sounds that we can get, the 2 and the 4 selections on the pickup selector, well, you can get country tones, you can get jazzy tones, you can get indie and art poppy sort of tones. You can cover any kind of musical genre with this guitar, especially for the clean tones. So really, really impressive there. And when we kicked in the Greer light speed, I had the gain on the pedal set to about 10 o'clock. And combined with these hot pickups, we got some great biting indie rock tones across all 5 different pickup selections. It's a really, really good guitar for playing that kind of music. And in this finish, I don't think you'd look too far out of place playing indie on stage with one of these. But again, let me know what you think about that. In terms of the classic rock stuff on the crunch channel of the amp, well, it was pushing the amp to almost beyond what I would expect to have in terms of levels of gain for something like AC/DC, but it sounded wonderful, really fat and thick, and just worked for that kind of stuff too. So overall then, everything from the cleanest of cleans to the dirtiest of dirt and anything in the middle you can cover with the RG421S. It's a really, really great guitar in terms of sounds, and if you're looking for something to cover every musical base, well, this is going to be a fantastic option. But if you've been watching this video and you kind of like this guitar, yet you're kind of thinking what else is out there, well, of course there are a number of other options. For around $400 or euros, this is firmly in the beginners or expanding beginners price category. It's definitely an affordable guitar. And if you're looking for something slightly different in the RG camp, well, Ibanez have so many different RG models. Head over to their website, there's going to be links down there in the description, and you can just see how many that there are. You should also go down to the local Ibanez dealer to you and try out a few, because there are so many different body types, neck types and profiles, pickup combinations, types of bridge and stuff like that. You'll definitely find one that works for you. And depending how much you want to pay, you can go from about this sort of price all the way up to the thousands for the Japan built models. There's a couple of other Ibanez guitars that I've tested over the past few years, which I would really recommend if you're interested in something like this, but with a slightly different flavor. First would be the Geo, the GRG121SP. That's a sparkly, slightly more traditional take on this style of guitar, and there's a video up there if you'd like to watch that. Or if you'd like to go more in the Fender Stratocaster type of direction, well, I'd have no qualms in heartily recommending the AZ-ES. That's the AZ Essentials lineup by Ibanez. There's a couple of guitars in that lineup with different pickup configurations. Again, videos of those up there if you'd like to watch those. You can't go wrong with any of those, and they're all priced similarly to the RG421S. Now, in terms of other guitars that will give you this kind of performance for a similar sort of budget, well, if you want to spend a little bit less, look for something like the Harley Benton Fusion models. Those are fantastic instruments, again, with a range of pickup types, body shapes, neck types, and so on available. Then if you want to go for something like a Squier, you could try one of their contemporary Strats or something like that. Again, a number of different options are available there for around a similar sort of price. And once you edge up above the price of this one and go to about $500 or euros, well, the world becomes your oyster in terms of super Strat RG-esque guitars. You could pick pretty much anything, but the lower priced Chapman ML1s start at about that sort of price. The lower priced Jacksons and Jackson Dinkies are around that sort of price, and also a little bit lower. There's other similar guitars from the likes of ESP and Schecter. Well, there's so many. The best thing you can do is go to your local guitar shop and try out as many as you can. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I have no hesitation in really recommending the RG421S. It's really opened my eyes to this kind of guitar, and actually I want to keep this one because it fills a gaping hole in my collection that I really think needs filling. Now, this guitar is going to be a fantastic choice for you if you're taking your first steps into the world of guitar and you want something that looks like this but will cover any kind of musical ground. It's super versatile thanks to the pickup selection options that you have here, and you can cover everything from 50s and 60s pop and jazz through to 2020s progressive down-tuned metal and so much more. It's also a really nice lightweight guitar, at least this one is. It feels really good to play as well, although don't forget to budget in to get a setup too. The Wizard 3 neck on this is a really fantastic feeling neck. I really, really like it. It makes it such a joy to play, and it's given me new forms of musical expression that I don't have with my other instruments. And in that regard, I'm going to give this guitar 2 thumbs up and really recommend that you try one of these if you ever get the chance. It's a really, really cool guitar in every respect. Now, I hope that this video has answered all of the questions that you might have had about the 2024 RG421S, but let me know if you have any other questions and I shall answer them to the best of my ability in the comments. And if you're still watching, it would really make my day if you wanted to give the video a like, or maybe even sub to my channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.